Good morning, boys and girls. So today's Friday. Today's math is definitely going to be harder. You'll see in our problem one today, there are no squares, so we simply can't count the squares to even check our work. So we have to be not only a good looker, but we also have to be almost a math detective today. So if we are trying to figure out the total area of that space, okay, because we know not every space is a perfect square or in the shape of a rectangle. So what my eyes see right now is if I could draw my line right here and create a square and a rectangle, then it would be doable. However, I have the width here, but I don't have the length. And then if I'm over here, I have this measurement of 3, but I don't have this measurement. And this is where you need to be a really good detective. So if we see the entire top here, the distance from here to here is 6 feet. And then I also see that from here to here is 3 feet. So what that really tells me is, I'm just going to cross this out for a minute. This half would be 3 feet, and this half would be 3 feet. So I now have the length and the width here, at least to figure out this area. So 3 times 3 is 9. So I would have 9 square feet there. Now, I have these measurements, but it's over here that I need. So let's look over here. If this is 3 feet, that means this length plus that length equals 3 feet. So look at the size difference. This is clearly double than this. So this must be 1 and this must be 2 because 2 plus 1 equals 3 feet. So now I have the length and the width. 3 times 2 is 6 feet. So today's math is going to be much harder. So the total area, and here's what I'd like to see the 9 feet squared. Here, I'd like to see the 6 feet squared. So please put area, A for area, equals 9 plus 6, that's 15 squared feet. Okay, this is going to be tricky. So I'd also like to do the next one, okay? Let's take a look at this. Okay, so this entire measurement is 6. This is 2. Oh, so look at this. Look at this. We don't even have to be a good detective on this one, boys and girls. It's a 2 by 6. Okay, so 2 times 6 is 12 squared feet. This is a 2 by 1, so 1 times 2 is 2. That one was much easier. So the total area, we'll put A equals 12 plus 2, 14 squared feet. Okay, so let me circle my answers. Why don't we do the next one together? Because that second one was awfully easy. This one looks like it's going to be harder. Now remember, we can divide our area into 3 pieces if we want. Now, we don't know the entire length down here. And I feel like that would be super helpful. However, if I was to push this line up, so 2, 3, 4. So I almost have to be like an investigator. So this has to be 4 inches because from here to here is 2, from there to there is 1, and from there to there is 1. All right, so if I divide it, this is 4 inches times 2 inches. Okay, so the area 4 times 2 is 8 squared inches in here. But let's divide it into 2 shapes. Okay? So, but you're like, I don't even know what number's here. and I don't know what number's here. Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's figure it out. We said this whole distance was 4. We know from here to here is 2. Well, the other half, this must be 2. And this distance here, well, let's see. If this whole distance is 4, I know from here to here is 2. That must be 3, 4. It really is like a math puzzle. So this space, this polygon is a 2 by 1. So my area here is 2 inches squared. And here it's a 1 by 1. So I'm not going to lie, boys and girls. This is tricky. So my total area is 8 plus 2, that's 10, plus 1 is 11. So I'm going to write area equals 11 squared inches. That 2 stands for the word squared. You know what? Let's do one more together. Let's do one more together, and then I'm just going to ask you to attempt the next 4 on your own, okay? And if you're stuck, well, then maybe Friday afternoon I could put you in breakout rooms. Okay. So it appears if I drew a line here, and so I had a rectangle and then another rectangle, that would be helpful. Okay, so let's look at what information we do have. We know that this entire side is 3. Okay, well, we know from here to here is 2, so this has to be 1 yard. Okay, we don't know the length of here, but we do know that's 2 yards, and we do know that's 1 yard. So this whole thing must be 3. So let's look at that. 3 times 1, that would be 3 yards, 3 squared yards. Okay, so that's that little one. And look it, we do know this, a 1 by 2. Well, that's 2. And so our total yards would be this area plus this area. 3 plus 2 equals 5 square yards. Oops, I put yard. Sorry, that should be 2. So this is hard. Some of you can visually see it and it makes sense. And some of you might say, oh, I have no idea what she's talking about. And that's okay, because we're just exploring this. So on your own right now, what I'm going to have you do is find the total area. So if I could at least give you some help in where I think you should divide them into 2 separate shapes, I would say that one. For this one, I would suggest you break it into 3 pieces. For number 7, I would suggest you also break it into 3 pieces. And then for number 8, I would suggest you break it into 2 pieces. Some of you may need that help. Some of you might say, oh, Mrs. Jusome, you just told us way too much information. So right now, try your best in figuring out the total area for each of these polygons.